I'm gonna probably hang it up, and I'm still very excited for the next chapter. Yeah, it's never easy, man. Like I said, it was gut wrenching.
Photographer of the year. Let's hear it for Dan Shelley, Shellda Photos.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Shellda Podcast, where today I'm joined by the legend on the field, off the field, Play the Game podcast, Edmonds Impact, Tyler Harmon. What's up, my man?
What's up, Dan? Good to see you, bro. I love that intro. Let's go. Photography game on lock.
Yeah.
Watch out, everybody.
It gets me hyped every time I see it. I've talked about it on a few different shows, but super quick. When Alex announced that, there was like music in the background and whatnot, and Sal Chavez sent me the clip of it. I'm like, man, I would love to use that for the show, but the music was copyrighted. And so I sent Alex Rage a message. I was like, hey, this is so weird, but can you like re-record yourself like saying that? And so he sent like 5 or 6 recordings of him saying it. So it worked out.
Yeah, shout out to Sal and Alex, man. Absolute legend. Fresh Eggs. We were kind of talking about, you're a part of the Dynasty camp and how amazing the team has been doing. So big love to Eggies and the crew. They've been working really hard. Yeah,
for sure. Man, I'm super excited for this one. Before we rip into it, though, I do want to give a huge shout out to my 2 show sponsors. You know BFP Gear pretty well. You've been around Gina and Junior for years.
I grew up in NorCal. Yep.
Exactly. Yeah. And what I love about them is they're just a small family. Like they bring you in kind of like HK with you. Like they treat you like you're part of their family.
That's right.
And same thing with the Hormesis crew. Like it's a family. Like this whole paintball community is just a family. And so it's cool to be a part of 2 brands that just want to support anything and any adventure to help grow paintball into the future.
That's right. Yeah. Thank you to all the sponsors who take care of all these shows. We have so many shows out there right now, and there are a lot of people supporting those shows. So thank you, obviously, to everybody that goes out of their way to support the media side of paintball as well. Yeah. It takes all of us supporting each other for this thing to really launch out.
Yeah, it does. I was talking with Joe Barrett in Tampa, and he pulled up his phone and pulled up one of the podcast apps, and he just typed in paintball, and you had to scroll. There are so many paintball podcasts now. It's crazy.
I love it. That's what we need. We need.
Yeah. Hey, I want to jump in really quick. I know you're a big person on like manifesting and the power of your mind. When I started this photography journey now 3-4 years ago, we had chatted a little bit a few years ago about like potentially getting me on your show on Play the Game.
Yes.
And I would drive.
We still need to do that.
We have to do it.
In there.
Yeah. And like, I would drive to work, back and forth, and I would just pretend like, man, what questions would they ask me? How would I answer it? And so if you told me at that time that like manifesting, I would be on the flip side of that. Like I would have you on my podcast first. I'd be like, there's no way. Like I wouldn't even think about having a podcast,
Dude, you've been crushing it. Yeah.
It's cool to see it come full circle. So long story short, tell me about manifesting to you. Like, what does that mean to you?
Well, I mean, manifesting is a very real thing. The power of the mind is extremely important. And when you work hard in your training and your visualization, you can accomplish pretty much anything that you set out to accomplish through manifestation. But it's bigger than just thoughts. It's action as well, paralleled with it, and being able to move yourself into a position to actualize that manifestation that you're trying to attain, right? So it's not going to do anything for you if you just sit there and think about things. You have to physically move your body, move yourself into alignment with those thoughts. You need to position yourself in a way that you're going to be, like I said, paralleled with it. So whatever activities you need to get into, whatever it is you're trying to do, if you're trying to become an artist or a musician, or like if I want to be the best rapper in the world, right? I have these dreams. I'm going to be the best rapper the world's ever seen. If I don't go to the studio, or if I don't meet people who are in the music industry, if I don't do those things, I'm never going to make that manifestation come to life. So the power of manifestation is very real. Like I said, it is a miracle. Truly, it is a miracle of life that you can set your mind to a goal, and you have the ability and the creative power to go chase that goal and make it happen. But it's all about getting off your butt, going and doing the work, aligning yourself with what it is you want to accomplish. If you do that, you can do anything. And the mind is a beautiful thing. It can also be a devastating thing. It can be your greatest adversary or your worst enemy, depending on what you feed it. So you've got to make sure that you feed your mind what you want to grow in your life, right? So really being thoughtful with yourself, being kind to yourself, and just having fun with it. Be playful. Go out there and give your best at whatever you're going to do.
Yeah, that's incredible. Thanks for going down that path. And I would love to know like some specifics about that, right? Because I think we hear people a lot say like, you've got to be kind to yourself, you've got to do these great things for your mind, but like what specifically are you doing to like keep that high level mindset?
Yeah. So in regards to being kind for yourself, try to, be empathetic with your journey. You're not going to make the right moves all the time. You're going to fail. You're going to have difficulties. It's for sure going to happen, but it's about what you choose to do through those moments and how you choose to create yourself in those moments that will really tell, where you're going to go. So be empathetic with your journey, understand that the failures are leading to the bigger picture, right? So you have to have that big picture in mind. If you can do that and you can keep things in perspective and have a big view of things, then you'll be able to move more easily through those tough times because you know where you're headed, you know what you're trying to attain. And these are all part of the growing process and the pain that comes with that. Pain is so funny, man. When I had my son, I think it was Max. No, it was Theo. It was the first one. We were at the, doing the labor school pretty much where they teach you how, okay, you got to breathe like this and all these things. And the lady, me and my wife will never forget it. She's like, pain is good in labor. That pain is good because you're working towards the goal of birthing your child. So shifting your mindset to, okay, this is all part of the process. This is how I'm going to be able to birth this new reality. And just, like I said before, just enjoy the process, have fun with it, be lighthearted, and try to, move with that power still.
Yeah, that's like life advice right there, right? Like find
Oh,
that
man.
pain and like use it for good. Same thing with working out.
Yeah.
Like when you're going through like a really strong rep, like, hey, it hurts, but like, it's good pain. Like you're doing something for that.
That's right.
Hey, let's step back a little bit because I remember, I think it was a few years ago on your show, you had talked about your previous career, how you were, I think, an exterminator, right? So like you were crawling under the houses and doing all that.
Yeah.
And here you are now. Obviously, you're still playing pro at the time, but like, talk me through what that process was like, because I think a lot of people, are working 9-to-5 jobs that they hate. They've got dreams of doing something more. So like, how did you get to that point where you were crawling under houses to where you are now doing this for a living?
Yeah. So I started that with my family. We had an inspection business where we'd work with real estate agents and partner up with them to do inspections on houses for the transactions. And it was crazy work in the Central Valley, Northern California, Modesto, Stockton, all throughout the valley, Oakdale, Tracy, all over the place. We were all over that valley. And California has a special type of house they build, which is called a raised foundation house. Most of the houses in the country are either slab foundation or they have a basement. So there's no way to like really crawl under those, right? It's cement.
Yeah.
In California, because of earthquakes and things like that, they make raised foundation with a crawl space, and it's like a foot, if you're lucky, maybe a couple feet high underneath there. So every day it was like Halloween down there. You know what I mean? Like spider webs, dead mice, dead rats, dead everything. It was crazy. Fleas. The worst is if you get attacked by fleas. Those things are not to be messed with.
Yeah.
And they're attracted
your arm because you're feeling it.
Yeah, they're attracted to the flashlight too. So fleas, they are attracted to light. So when you go under there, they just swarm. But it was a really cool experience for me to meet a ton of people in the business world, work that angle of life, and learn a lot about myself and how business works as well. I did that for a decade, about 10 years through my entire 20s, and then was able to make a shift and move out here to Arizona. And the paintball community is booming out here. So I'm loving it in AZ. But it was not easy, man. It was not easy. That portion of my life was really chaotic, and it was turmoil, kind of, it was like I have these dreams of becoming the best paintball player that I can possibly be. I started playing pro when I was 13 years old. So I've been playing dramatically longer, or a substantial amount longer than I haven't been in my life, right? Like 13 years of no paintball, turned 13 pro, and then went on this journey. And to put it shortly, I had to really suffer a lot in that time, because I would work for like 30 to 45 days, like a month to a month and a half, and then I would get like 2 days off. And I did that for a very long time. I can't really remember how long. Probably like, I don't know, like 8 or 9 years, where I would work for 30 days straight. And that means I go to work 5 days a week. I leave on Friday night. I get on the airplane. It was San Diego at the time, to play for Dynasty. I roll out there, play all weekend, head back home, go straight back into the termite tubes, underneath houses, up and down the valley, all over the place, just ripping. And I would do that for, sometimes it would be 30 days. Sometimes it would be a little longer, maybe 40 days, 45 days, somewhere in that window. And then I would have 2 days off, and I would spend that time with my family, and take those moments. And I wouldn't see at the end of that, for the last 4 years, I wouldn't see my kids. When I had Theo, I would maybe see him for an hour or two a day.
Wow.
Because I was working like 12-hour days at that time. And my wife, she was able to stay home and take care of the kids. And I would be, out just trying to do everything I could for our family. Yeah. So there was a lot of years of immense struggle, and it was a big pull in my life, because in my mind, I just want to play paintball, but I can't do that right now. It doesn't make sense. So it actually took me 16 years professional before I could become just a professional paintball player. I played, I think it was like 15 or 16 years professionally while working and, going to school. I always got straight A's and B's. I was very diligent with my schoolwork, making sure I was a good student. And then after school, going straight into work and doing all that. But I just want to kind of put that in perspective for people, that it doesn't happen overnight. It took me 15 to 16 years of pro paintball before I could say, okay, I've established myself to where I can do this full time. Yeah. It's such a blessing that I'm able to, and I'm forever grateful for all my sponsors. Shout out to HK, Impact, Planet Eclipse, everybody that supports the show, and everybody that supports me, because it's a dream come true to be sitting here with you on this show and be talking about paintball in this way, because it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy, and I'll forever be grateful for that journey. But just know that it's going to be, pro paintball has a long way to go. So it's not what you think it is. It's not what you see on the Instagram and on the, YouTube. It's a lot of work, and if you want to do pro paintball and you want to be the best at it, you're going to have to work really, really hard and sacrifice a lot. And you're going to have some sleepless nights. You're going to have days where you haven't been able to get the rest you need, but you got to still go do what you got to do to make sure you can, go chase your dreams and make them happen.
Man, that's incredible. That's for when you're talking about that journey, that 15 or 16 years, I just kept thinking, man, this guy wanted this so bad that he would have done anything in the world to make this dream happen and just keep going through those hard days. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Joe Barrett talked about that a little bit on his episode, where he came from a really small town and he's playing paintball in the winter when the place is shut down. And he's like, I just wanted it so bad that I would do anything I could to make this happen.
That's right.
And
I loved that episode. That was a great one.
Yeah, it's a good one. Joe's I knew Joe a little bit before that, but I just learned so much more about him and the drive that he has, and you as well. I think so many people, they see the webcast, they see Go Sports, and they see these heroes like you just living your best life on these, weekends, and they think that's it. But I don't think a lot of people realize that a lot of pros are going home and they're having to work, 40, 50, 60 hours and put in this grind to make this dream happen.
That's right.
That's the reality of it right now.
That's correct. Yeah. And it's still, we're so lucky to be able to play paintball. Yeah. It's the greatest game. So whatever, at all costs, to be able to go into these arenas with your best friends and go have these moments where you travel. There's nothing like paintball and what it does for us as being a part of a community. and having all the relationships that we do. So it's worth all the blood, sweat, and tears, all the sleepless days and everything. It's all worth it.
Yeah, you said the key word there, I think, and the further I get into this paintball journey, for me, it's the sponsors come and go, right? Like things come and go, but it's the people, it's the relationships that are like the glue for all of it. No matter what happens in your life, it's like those relationships that people are always going to be there.
That's right.
Yeah. So I think I've heard, you were a straight A and B student. So like you put so much energy into that. You're in the termite tubes, putting energy there, doing the pro life. And I've seen it from you, like on the field. I've seen passion from people, but I almost want to call it something different for you. It's like this fierce energy. I see, 5, 10, 15 minutes before the match starts and after, like I see it in your eyes. There's just like some switch in you. Where does that like fierceness come from?
Well, a lot of it is just a byproduct of love for the game and my passion for this game, and to not let these moments just slip past, and to be steadfast in the moment. I'm also a fierce competitor, man. I really enjoy competing against players. I enjoy the process of competing against myself and pushing myself, and just enjoying, like I said, being in the moment, not allowing my mind to be somewhere else, to be thinking about things that I shouldn't be thinking about when I'm on the field or in those moments preparing for a match. The only thing I should be thinking about is my opponents and how I can be the best teammate for my team, be a selfless teammate, help my coach, help my teammates, and really go out there and give everything that I have. And also, I think about my kids and my family, and I'm driven by the fact that my beautiful wife and my kids support me on this journey. I'm 35 years old. I'm closer to 40 than I am 30. I'm going to be 36 here in just a couple days. And
hey, happy birthday! Mine's a few days away too, April 16th.
Yeah, mine is in May, so it'll be next month on the 17th. And yeah, I'm really just grateful for the opportunity that I have to be on the field. So I think that's where a lot of my passion and my my crazy eyes come from, because I really am in it and I'm in the moment, and I want to be there for my team and do everything I can for them.
So it sounds like, to summarize that, when you're in that moment and that, like, that fierce passion comes out, you're thinking a lot about your purpose of like why you're there, why you're doing it. It's their family, it's Theo, it's the kids. And does that help you come back to that present moment?
Honestly, my mind, I couldn't even begin to tell you where my mind is when I'm when I'm going to play paintball. It's never the same. And that's the beauty of life, is it's this crazy creative process where you have to renew yourself every moment, all the time. And it has to be the best you possible every time, every moment, So, I don't know, man. It's really centered in gratitude. And like I said, I'm a competitor. I'm there to compete. A lot of people, you see, there's a difference. There's a lot of people that show up and they work hard. They're hard workers, and they do a good job of working hard. But some of them aren't competing. They're not competitors. They're not looking for every minute detail and edge. They're working hard, but they're not competing. And I'm there to compete.
Yeah, there's it's almost like a second level, right? Like you can put in the time and the effort and do the reps, but it's also, how do you apply that to be a competitor now? And I think that's that
Details.
1% that separate. Yeah, exactly. It's those small things that change. I see it a little bit, obviously, over the past few years. Like, I'm behind the camera, I'm watching you guys through my lens, and I pick up on subtle things that players do. Like, before somebody's coming to the snake, they tighten the barrel a little bit, they move the pack a little bit. And so, I pick up on those small details as well.
Yes.
And it's those small things that really separate people, I think.
Yeah, photography is amazing. I love what you're doing with the photography game. My grandpa, I have a deep love for photography as well. My grandpa was a photographer and an architect. That's what he did his career in life. Yeah, so me and my grandpa would go out when I was just a kid, and there's some of my favorite memories up in Northern California by the Sierra Nevadas. There's these huge lichen fields, these rocks, and there's all these rocks and it's like a fungus, a really colorful fungus that grows all over the rock. It's called lichen. And at a very particular time of the year, like once a year, they all just go crazy and bloom. and it's the
Wow.
most insane color patterns and very I don't know, like psychedelic color patterns. And
Yeah.
we were able to go out there and capture some really cool old photography on like, film.
Old school
And
film cameras. Yeah.
I still have my camera. Sometimes I'll shoot some film stuff, but
Yeah.
photography is an amazing way of capturing moments.
For sure. I mean, it's every picture's a story, right? And that's the
Yeah.
cool part about it. Man, once we get you to like finally hang up your marker, we're gonna have to get you on the field to take some photos.
Dude, I would love that. I want to be
Yeah.
heavily involved, in the
Yeah.
game still once I'm done playing. Like I said, I'm getting older. I don't want to be a super old pro. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
once my facial hair starts getting really gray, I think that I'm gonna probably hang it up. And I'm still very excited for the next chapter in my career as a paintball player and a paintball fan to be able to document the game. PTG, we want to continue to document the players, and we
Yeah.
want to create heroes out of the up and coming future so that we have a really strong scene moving into the future. And that's why, like, we were just at WCPPL shooting out there and highlighting the community out there and telling those stories of those players so that we can start to create new superstars in the game who are going to
Yeah.
come
Yeah.
up and take over.
Yeah. So talk to me a little bit about that, because I think I've had a lot of pros on, and I'll ask the question like, "Hey, what's next?" or "What does it look like after?" And
Mhm.
people like dance around it. I don't know. Like, I'll think about it. Obviously, you've put some thought into that.
Mhm.
It's keeping the podcast alive. Is there any
Oh,
other
yeah.
adventures? Is it coaching a team, owning a team?
Yeah, no plans to own a team or coach a team, but we definitely want to continue to document and database paintball
Yeah.
and create some cool stuff for the community. I also I have my license for doing structural inspections in the Arizona area. So through the Arizona Department of Agriculture, I have my license right here. It's the same kind of thing. I had to get licensed through the state of California when I was out there to do the
Yeah.
structural inspections for the real estate agents. So when I got out here, it was the first thing I did like 5 years ago. I haven't had to use the license yet, but I always do my reciprocity and do my schooling every year and keep it
Yeah.
active just to have something in case I need it. I can, inspect homes, and I really enjoy doing that. I did it for, like I said, about a decade, and it was a fun job. So I still have that license, but my dream would be to stay heavily involved in paintball. I
Yeah. Yeah.
definitely want to help nurture up and coming players and continue to see the future of our game be as strong as it possibly can. And PTG, myself and Marcelo Margot are going to continue to tell stories and just keep having fun with the game. We are so lucky to be able to play it. We've been a part of the community for, I'm coming up on 25 years that I've been playing paintball, and 23 of them professionally. So it's been a fun journey, man.
Wild.
It's been crazy.
Yeah. Let's transition and talk about the podcast, because it's, I think it started during COVID, right? Or right around COVID.
That's right. Yeah. So right when COVID hit, me and Marcelo, we were like, dude, what are we going to do? We have nothing to do. We're just sitting there,
Yeah.
and we still wanted to tell paintball stories and be a part of the paintball, feel like we're playing it,
Yeah.
So that was kind of our first episodes, was like talking about the details of the game, mindset. I think that was one of our very first episodes, was
I remember
mindset,
that.
and just going over, all the things that we apply as pro paintball players. And it really caught fire and was a spark for the community. It was fun to see.
Yeah, it's been so cool. Paintball podcasts have come and gone, right? Like, some will come up and then they'll bloom, then they'll kind of fade away. I think what yours is probably the most consistent podcast in the paintball community that's been around.
5 years. Our 5-year anniversary is coming up next month in
Wow.
May, and we
Wow.
haven't missed a week. We've done it for 5 years straight without missing a week.
I hope people can really understand how hard it is to do that.
Oh man,
Get a guest on every single week and not miss it.
It
And
is.
like the timing and the coordinating, and if you're doing editing
Yeah.
after, like it's literally a full-time job.
Bro, you ain't lying. It really is. And we're paintball players, we
Yeah.
had no background in this whatsoever. But once again, we just jumped right off the diving board, head first into the water, and
Yeah.
doing research and doing everything that we can to figure out, what's the best platform. And we failed a lot. Like a
Sure.
lot of our early stuff is pretty rough, and even the platforms that we would use. Shout out to StreamYard. I see you're using StreamYard.
StreamYard's killer. Yeah.
That's what we use as well. And it's been a fun creative process, but it's been, sometimes you're right. It's like, what are we going to do? The show's tomorrow. We got to cook something up, and just being creative and staying creative like that it's a lot.
Yeah, but like, looking back at that, you've learned so much. And I think that's just life advice, right? Is like, if you want to do something, jump into it and you'll naturally figure it out. You'll go through the trials and tribulations of it.
That's right.
Because I think there's something about being a content creator that is so scary for people, right? To like reach up, turn the camera on. Now you're the focal point of it. What has hosting the podcast taught you about yourself?
Man, it's taught me a lot about myself. Being able to have in-depth conversations with so many unique minds and, just perspectives. It's always nice to have a new perspective on things. So being able to bounce ideas off of somebody and have unique perspectives, and just, it's been a really humbling experience. And it was cool to see the spark get lit from 2020 and have so much creativity blossom out of that for our community. And it's just amazing. I think that we are on the precipice of some really big developments in paintball. So everyone keep doing the hard work. I know it is, it's not work when you're having fun, but there is effort that needs to be applied. So keep applying the effort. Let's keep sounding the drums on paintball, because it's truly one of the greatest sports in the world, and it deserves a lot more respect, in my opinion, than it has received in the global landscape, just because of the difficulty of the nature of the beast. The game is so damn difficult. And if you're a competitor and you play it, you understand that. And that's what keeps us all coming back, So the podcast has taught me a tremendous amount, and I'm just super humbled and grateful for all the people that have joined us on the show and our future guests, everybody that supports us in our community. Absolutely love you and forever grateful.
Yeah, tell me about that too, because you guys have built such an incredible community, and it's been cool to watch. Right, I've been a day one supporter of listening to the show and commenting when I can,
dude,
and seeing, there's been a lot of tools that come and go, and a lot of new social media platforms, and a lot of people are scared to adopt those. But like, you guys jumped on the Patreon train really quick. You jumped on the Discord train really quick. So to see your community grow, talk to me about that.
Bro, we didn't even know what Discord was when we first added it to our Patreon tier, because we had a Patreon and then it said, attach Discord, and we're like, why not? Why not give them more? We don't know what it is, but we're going to attach it. So we attached it, and we started diving into that and realized what an amazing platform it is for connecting a community and building just an amazing tribe of people all coming together in one space on all these different subject threads. So for anybody that doesn't know, we have our Discord community at ptgpodcast.com. The orange Patreon link will get you connected to that Discord community. And it's like the new age PB Nation. So inside of there, we have all these sub threads. There's different areas that you can chat about music, or you can drop field layouts in there for the GOAT Squad, which is our highest tier. We do a monthly meeting where we hang out and bring everyone together and give away a ton of prizes. Shout out to HK and Planet Eclipse. And then we got PTG swag we're giving out. And it's just a really, really cool spot. It's amazing how they all go to bat for each other. Everyone has each other's back in there. And if you need anything, you literally have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people who are there to support you on your journey through paintball. Any questions you have about your team, if you're having a tough time with something, you have support. It's I assimilate it to kind of like a campfire. It's this huge campfire where everyone can gather around, and you can be seen, you can be heard, you can have a community of players that'll be there to support you. So truly the Discord community is everything to us. We're in there all day long. There's tons of pros in there as well, all bantering, having fun. Nick Sloviak's typically making fun of something or having fun in there, and it's a really cool place. So shout out to PTG World. Let's go.
Yeah, I mean, the community you guys have built is just wild. You know, like I know I was part of it for a hot minute, and like the fantasy football league, I
Dude,
lost, and so like I was embarrassed and got kicked out of it. I'm just kidding,
Oh,
but it's so cool to see
dude,
the
the
community that
fantasy
you guys.
football.
Oh, it's crazy. I
It
remember
was
some of the shit
madness.
talking.
It was madness in there, dude. Yeah,
Yeah.
we even have rap battles. Like we got OG Paul Binion, Did It Hurt Paintball. He's doing rap battles with young Stevie. It's just a funny place. It's a lot of fun, and that's our mantra. I'm wearing my play hat right now.
Oh,
We
yeah,
just
so
dropped
sick.
the new merch, and it's just playful. It's a good place you can go have fun and enjoy paintball. And yeah, dude, it's great.
Yeah, I think the cool thing about that hat, like it's a conversation starter. You know, like you're all playing, hey, what
Yeah.
does that mean? Like play what?
is
And you're like,
it?
oh, I'm
Yeah.
glad you asked.
Yeah, play the
Sit
game,
back.
baby.
I'm going to tell you about it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
and that's what we're trying to do is get, life is difficult and the highs and the lows. I would be lying to you if I told you every day of mine was, smiles and the big energy that you think of me as and all the positivity that you think of me as, because it just simply isn't the truth. I go through a lot. I know we all do, but because of this game, we're able to focus our energy into positivity and use it to drive us into great directions. So
Yeah.
it's something that we got to be mindful of.
Yeah. If are okay talking about it, those days that are, we'll call them darker or not like the,
Yeah.
happy days that we all know you for. How do you
Yeah.
get through those days? Because I think you're spot on. Everybody has those days, and I don't think
Mhm.
some people realize that. They think there's so much pressure of like, I've got to be happy all the time, or I've got to be on point all the time. So like, how do you go through that?
Yeah. That's just not realistic. We're
Yeah.
human beings, We're human beings and we have emotions, and there's a lot of things that go on around us as well, right? And
Yeah.
you have to be empathetic and caring to those types of things as well. And sometimes you're going to have to sacrifice yourself in the way that you feel for the betterment of others. And maybe it's not what you want to do, but you're helping other people. So it's you got to think bigger than yourself. And when I say we're human beings and we have emotional systems, you have like a guidance system inside of you, and your emotions, they tell you how you're feeling, right? And it's a great way of gauging, okay, if I'm doing this and it doesn't feel good, I got to shift myself in a certain way to get in alignment with something that feels better. And for me, a lot of the times it's getting into nature, it's getting some sunlight, and just trying to see things once again from a bigger perspective and be grateful, because we are so lucky to be human beings on this planet. On planet Earth, we're very lucky to have this opportunity to be a human. I don't know the way the universe works, but I just know there's a lot of other things that aren't human, and I'm a human, so I don't know how that happened. And I try to think of it that way and be grateful for the fact that I'm able to be here. And then like being in nature really gets me connected and grounded. And then from that, a lot of time too, going for a run or doing some push-ups or doing something where I do some like plyometric jumping, something to get my blood flowing and release endorphins also helps me a lot if I'm not feeling my best. But also there's sometimes where I sit with that emotion. Like if I get beat in a tournament or if I feel a certain way, I will really sit with those emotions and try to understand why I'm feeling them, so that I can learn, try to ask myself, what is this trying to teach me? Or what am I learning right now from this feeling? And being thoughtful about why I'm feeling it so that I can grow from it and with it, instead of trying to do things to kind of, to steer away from it or think away from it. I'll really try to think of what am I trying to teach myself, or what is this teaching me right now? But also, once again, it goes back to just be empathetic with yourself. Understand that you are human. It's okay to feel bad. You're going to feel better, and try to just, remember that you still have so many great blessings in your life, so many amazing things around you, and try to see things from a new perspective that way to lighten the, the air around you.
The air.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for going down that path. Cause I actually had a few photos like queued up that I wanted to talk about. And There was
Yeah.
one that I took in Tampa. There's a few I took of you in Tampa, but there was one specifically. I think it had to have been on Sunday. It was after you guys got eliminated. Let me pull this up quick, because what you just described, I think, is exactly what you were just talking about. So for people that are tuning in, listening, it's a picture of Tyler standing in the pits. He's geared down, and he's just. I remember you just stood in that same exact spot. Your arms were behind your back, and you were just staring, focused. And I think in that moment, is that what you were processing? Is like learning about what can we do? How can I go through that moment again?
Yeah, I mean, in that moment, when a paintball tournament's just ending and you've been eliminated, there is so much to think about. It's almost impossible to think about everything, obviously, but yeah, you definitely are processing the feeling. You're trying to figure out what we can learn from it, how we can grow from it, any mistakes that were made, what we can do to implement tactics into the future to mitigate that from happening to us again. And once again, just being thoughtful. Like we have to be really thoughtful and caring about the process, because all those details, that's what makes the mosaic, that's what makes the piece of art. You gotta have all the details dialed in. If everyone's working hard and really focused on being the best version of themselves for the team, then we can have really good things happen. That was not one of the most fun moments. It never is, but honestly, you're going to lose a lot more than you're going to win in paintball. So it's how you choose to process those things and work with them to make yourself better. Every day, if you're a little bit better than the day before, we're doing the right thing. We're moving in the right direction, and just being mindful that it's going to be a long journey, and you've got a lot of people. Like, I'm just grateful I have the team around me that I do. They all care so damn much. They have so much passion for paintball. They look at the details like I'm talking about and are all competitors. So we're definitely really excited to start training. We have impact training coming up this weekend, this next one in Sacramento, and then going to Texas, getting everything rolling with the squad going into Atlantic City, because there's a lot of really great paintball going on right now. Obviously, Paintball Fit, they are playing tremendous paintball, and without a doubt, they play more paintball than anybody. So nobody's going to be. I mean, I think Russia probably is up there with them with the training regiment. Yeah, there's teams that are sure they're going to probably play more paintball together, and we got to be outclassing these players and going out there and still being able to show them what's up on the paintball field. So we're excited for what's ahead of us.
Yeah, thanks for breaking that down, because I've seen that particular picture. Like, I've seen that a lot from you over the past few years. Not saying that you've lost, but I've noticed, win or lose, you stand in the pits for a little bit, and like it looks like you're taking in the moment. And I've always wanted to come up to you and ask you, like, hey, what's going through your mind right now? But obviously, I don't want to interrupt that flow. So thanks for breaking that down. Yeah,
it's the worst. It's not fun at all. That's what's going through my mind in those moments. Yeah,
and that's right. That's where I think I've got, and I wish other people would respect that moment, because I see people come up and like they, hey, like, how are you? Can I grab a selfie? And it's like, man, this isn't the moment to ask for that. Like, you gotta let this guy process.
Do them.
I know
I'll still do the selfies, and I still keep, I'm once again, gratitude always first, but it's hard. It is difficult when your insides are torn, but I still will make sure to take time for anybody out there that is supporting us.
Yeah, for sure. Talk to me. You mentioned your kids a lot in this, and one of the things I've loved to ask some of the pros that have come on, I asked Yosh this. What is it like for your boys to see you like in magazines and like on YouTube? And that's not normal, like what does that mean for you?
I don't know. It's weird. It's kind of weird that it's a blessing. And I'm just, I don't know. At school, I don't shy away from it. I wear my badge of honor of being a paintball player with pride, and it opens doors for my kids to see that you can do something that's unorthodox and be successful and make a career by following your passion. There's a lot of people that don't follow their passion, and then their kids see that, and then they follow the same thing, and they don't follow their passion, and it can be a cycle that can be kind of damaging. So I'm grateful that I'm able to show my kids that, I I don't have a normal type of thing that I've been doing for my entire life. I've been playing paintball, but if you follow your passion in anything you do, if you enjoy it and you love it, you're going to do much greater than if you're trying to cram yourself into something because you think it's the right thing to do. Right. So truly being in a creative process and following your heart will take you further than trying to do what's quote unquote right, or what is, perceived as the right thing to do. You've got to really be mindful of what it is that you care about so that you can enjoy your life, like your entire your experience here. It's such a fleeting experience, and it's something that there's nothing promised here. So do what you're going to love and what you're going to enjoy, and then every day is going to be a great day. So it's been real cool to have my kids be along with me on the journey, and to be able to have them watch me when I play and support me. And I talk to them every night, and we talk about paintball. And Theo's going to be turning 10 here shortly. He's 9 right now.
Cool.
So we'll get him playing some like rec ball. And I don't really care if he plays tournament or does anything like that, but we're going to go and just, have fun. That's how I started. I just went out and played rec ball and had fun. And it was something that I, wanted to continue to do and have made a life out of. But it all started from that recreational play and just enjoying the process of that.
So cool. Has he played that lower caliber ball yet?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he likes it.
Well, we just do the jellies so far, and then he's actually gone out. When he was like 6 years old, I would take him to the paintball field and I would give him my gun, and I would run around and he would shoot at me and shoot me. And so I would just be getting lumped up and trying to hide from him and running around, and he had a lot of fun with that. And then we got the jellies, the HK jelly guns that they sent over. Yeah. And those things actually shoot pretty hard too.
They hurt.
They leave little tiny, they're not bad welts, but yeah, you look at your arm like, oh my God.
Dang, yeah. You look like Max, bit by a bunch of bugs.
Dude, yeah. And Max doesn't understand, he's kind of a menace. Like Theo's sweet, and Max, he's sweet as well, but he's more like, wild boy, kind of crazy. Yeah. And he'll just keep pumping and shooting. I'm like, bro, okay, you got me. But he's having fun. They're both having fun with it.
That's awesome. It's gonna be so cool just to see like how they take paintball and like where they go with it. If they choose that, obviously you're gonna support it regardless. So
that's
cool.
Right. Yeah.
Speaking of family, let's shift gears a little bit and talk about like HK and Impact. Obviously, HK just means the world to you. You've been around them, it seems like forever at this point.
Yes,
talk to me about that relationship with Marky and the crew.
Dude, they are my family. Same with Impact. It's a squad of family members. And I've been with HK since, I don't know, a long time. I remember when they first started making the headbands, and I was already playing pro ball at that point, and they dropped off like a little envelope with some stuff in it, like some sweatbands and headbands. And we've just always ran parallel on our journeys throughout pro paintball. They got into pro paintball a little bit later and had the squad that was running around and having fun. And it's just been amazing to see their development and how they've curated. Talk about community. They've built one of the strongest paintball communities ever seen. And it's through dedication and hard work, ingenuity, and intelligence. They have one of the smartest teams ever, comprised of just really fashionable, smart designers. Also on the telecom side, when it comes to being ahead of the curve on media and knowing how to navigate media, they've dominated the media aspect of it, which catapulted them so far in this game.
Yeah, they've always been, I think, what people look up to in terms of like media and whatnot. And that's where I think of them and you like in that perfect connection, because you guys obviously jumped right into the podcast, jumped right into Patreon and Discord. And you were the forerunners of that. And I see HK doing that a lot. Like they'll come up with something new. And it's like, oh, we haven't seen that before. And then the rest of the industry kind of follows suit with that at some point. So yeah, they're crushing it.
They are. Yeah. Shout out to HK Army. Thank you so much for all the support over the years, for taking care of Impact and all the teams that you take care of. They really go above and beyond. And they've been creating a really amazing paintball as well that they have. I think they just released the paint list to get on that for the AC event. So if you haven't already, go check that out.
Yeah, because it's going to go quick.
For sure. No, they've been cooking it up. They've put so much man hours and effort and time into making sure that they're curating a really good product.
Yeah, I mean that's the most important thing out there, is the paint itself.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Oh, absolutely.
I want to talk about Impact a little bit because I think, when the news came out that you were going over there, obviously I think majority of the public, they see the breaking news pop up on Instagram and, the move, but I don't think people realize how much goes into that decision, right? Like you probably get a phone call. I'm sure you have to talk to your wife and whatnot. Like talk to me about those conversations. Like how do you make those decisions with your family?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is never easy. It's gut wrenching. And first and foremost, just want to say thank you so much to the Heat family, to Mama D, Sarge, everybody that's part of the Heat camp, one of the best organizations in paintball. And I will never forget my time playing with Houston Heat. It was, it's never easy, man. Like I said, it was gut wrenching that decision. But really what the reason was for me to make the shift was kind of on a personal level with family type stuff. And my dad's been going through a lot. I'm going to be back home in Sacramento so I can be closer with him. I grew up in Sacramento. That was where I cut my teeth growing up and playing pro paintball with Oakland. So I'm in my home field and I'm back closer with my dad. Also, just being able to play with that community and be coached by Dave Baines, who a lot of people don't know, but Dave Baines, when I was like 12 years old, actually him and Rich Telford, Thomas Taylor, they all put me under their wing and trained me when I was just a kid. So I started with Twisted Paintball and Twisted Kids, Twisted Factory. I played 1 year of novice, 1 year of rookie when I was 11, 1 year of novice when I was 12, and then I went pro when I was 13 after Twisted. But coming up through the camp with Twisted, being out in Modesto, Rich Telford, Thomas Taylor, Dave Baines, and countless others from the Cap Factory, Los Angeles Ironman, the birthing of like Excessive and all that kind of stuff. And they were all out there and they all took me under their wing and helped me to be able to achieve my goals of going pro. So to be able to be full circle moment back home, playing underneath Dave Baines means a lot to me. And then I get to be playing alongside my childhood friends that I grew up with in the game. We all ran on parallel paths and had a lot of success in our own journeys. But for all of us to be back on one team, playing under the same umbrella and playing for each other means a lot too. So it was not easy. And like I said, absolutely love Houston Heat. Grateful for all the moments. And just looking forward to the future with Impact and grateful to be rocking with the squad. We got a hungry squad of players. Shout out to Canada. The Canadians are ripping. We got the best family that you can imagine. And we just got to go out there and work our asses off and get it done.
Yeah, man, what a beautiful chapter like this is going to be, right? Like talk about full circle moment. If you told yourself, what was it, 15 some odd years ago when you first played for Impact, like, hey, you're going to be there at this point in your career, you'd probably be like crazy.
Dude, it's insane. Yeah, 15 years ago is when I played for Impact, and it seems like just yesterday. I can remember that time in my life in my early 20s. Probably just a wild youngster running around having fun.
Definitely no kids yet.
No kids, no. And to have the full circle moment to be playing for Impact under the umbrella means everything to me. And I just want to go out there and fight my ass off to get these championships for this team.
Yeah, I love it, man. I'm so excited to see this year and the future for you with Impact. 'Cause, like I can just tell there's a new energy in you. Like I see it and I feel it. It's gonna be a good year. I've got a few more. I know we're on a little bit of a time crunch here. 20, 30 years from now, right? Your marker's collecting dust on your wall. Whatever the next adventure is, maybe the podcast is 100,000 subscribers, maybe 1 million. What do you want the paintball community to look back and know you and remember you as?
Woo, 20 to 30 years. Ain't no way. I'm not. I mean, I'll be playing like rec ball and hopefully, but God willing, man, 20 to 30 years from now, I just hope that, when I look back on it, that I gave everything that I have to it, and that I played with love, and that I helped as many people as I possibly could, and just give my respect to the game and to everybody that was a predecessor before me that helped to build this game, all the pioneers of paintball that came before me that helped to build paintball, to give us the opportunities to showcase this game to the world. Yeah, I'm just going to sit there and say thank you for the journey.
Gosh, I love it. That's the life advice right there. When I told, I've got a small community, not as big as Play the Game yet. It will be. But when I told my Discord I was having you on, they were pumped and fired for it up. So
let's go.
It's cool to see. Similar to what you do with yours, where, you have the Discord guys ask you questions to ask your guest. I take a different take on it. I ask my guests at the end of the show to ask a question for next week's guest without knowing who it is. And so it's a cool way to tie each guest together, each episode together. And so I actually have one from Skinny, who's going to be the one before you.
Skinny.
And, his is such a good episode.
Let's go.
His question for you is what venue, where would you want to play paintball in front of? And who would you want to be there watching you play? And so, he said it could be the White House. And what specific people would you want there watching you play? It could be anywhere.
Well, we probably wouldn't be able to get very many people up there, and it'd be a crazy game of paintball because we'd be floating around, but on the moon would be pretty insane. Shout out to the moon.
I knew you were going to say space. I just had a feeling.
No, I think if I was going to do on planet Earth, somewhere with a beautiful beach. I want to get back on the beach. The beach is so much fun to play paintball on. Those memories from Huntington Beach are timeless. Malaga as well out there, they had in Spain on the beach. So if we could get back to the beach, I think that would be pretty massive for our game. And I would just, if just my family was there, that would mean everything to me. I think, I think it'd just be them, my family.
That's awesome. Does your family come to a lot of events?
They do once in a while. They go to Vegas when it's out there.
Okay.
I think we might try to do World Cup, but it's
cool.
It's something to where when I'm at the tournaments, they understand I'm working and my full attention is devoted to making sure that I'm giving everything I can to the team and to that field layout and understanding how to move out there.
Yeah, that's and we'll dive into that. I'll have you on at some point again, but that's a topic I think some people struggle with. Is they bring their families out, and then it's how do you have that dance of, hey, I'm here for a job, but I've also got to be here to support that. That's something we can go deep in.
There's nothing wrong with
not at all.
Certain people are able to do it maybe better than I am, but I'm just unique, I guess, in that way where I have to have my full attention on what I'm doing. I don't like half foot in, half foot out type stuff. Yeah. So they completely support and understand. And so it's worked out. I'm really lucky. My wife is one of the most amazing people in the world. I love you, hon. And she's been with me since I can remember we were kids. We dated in high school, and she understands me and is fully supportive of my journey that I'm on, and is the best mother ever. So really couldn't do it without the team. I couldn't do it without the support from everyone, not just, in the game of paintball, but outside the game of paintball that is helping me as well. And I got to show love to my parents, my mom and dad, my brother, my grandparents, everybody that has helped me on the journey as well. It's all, it's all us on this journey together.
Yeah, support systems are so important in paintball, especially with how much people travel and the dedication.
That's for sure. Awesome. Yeah.
Well, hey, now the pressure's on. You get to ask a question to my next week's guest.
Oh boy.
I'm hoping I might need your help here. I would love to get Marcelo on, and it'd be cool to have you guys go back to back. So we'll see if that works out. But what's a question for the next week's guest?
Okay. So let's see here.
And it could be anything. While you're thinking, I'll give you some of the previous ones. One of my first ones, which I always talk about, Sal Chavez asked, he went completely left field. He was like, is cereal a super chowder? Crazy. Somebody asked if you could have lunch with somebody deceased, who would it be? somebody asked if you could play paintball with anybody in the world, like George Washington or somebody, like who would it be and why? So like the questions have been all over the place.
Okay. Let's see. I want to keep it paintball related. So if we could, there's certain areas of the world that aren't allowed to even have the paintball guns that we're allowed to shoot because of the laws. So if you could unlock one territory of the world that doesn't allow paintball to be played, what territory would you allow to play at the full capacity that we're able to play? Because I think like Australia, I think certain parts of Asia as well, they have feet per second laws where they can't even play paintball the way that we play it at the feet per second. Or you have to have certain like licenses and certain things like that in the same way that it is for like a real firearm.
Yeah,
so
there's so much red tape behind it, essentially. Yeah,
that's right. If we could take off the red tape from an area, and imagine how much market space it would unlock too for growth for our game as well, right? So if there was one area we could unlock, what would it be? And yeah, I guess that's my question.
Yeah, that's a great question. Man, I love that. You can tell like your thought of that is you're trying to glow on a global strategy and see this thing getting bigger. I love that.
Heck yeah.
Cool. Well, Tyler, this has been awesome, man. Thank you so much for coming on. Is there any last things you want to give a shout out to your family or your community?
Yes, definitely. Thank you to my fam. Thank you to the community. Thank you, Dan, for everything that you're doing in the game, and everybody out there. I'm super grateful to have had this time to sit here and talk with you. I'm looking forward to 2025 and beyond. We got a really fun season lineup. I think they're running some ESPN at Atlantic City. Is that right? I'm pretty sure something like that's happening. So we've got exciting stuff that is right on the edge of greatness, and just everybody out there, keep pressing for greatness, keep having fun, keep playing paintball, and please support all your local paintball fields, your stores, your local community. It's really important that we nurture our local communities. This is one of the biggest missions that I want us to really, really focus on, is just making sure that our recreational paintball is growing and thriving, and that they know that there's a life in paintball. That way, when mom and dad and the family go out there, they have a great experience. They shoot some great paint. They have some great guns that they're able to play with. And then, who knows, maybe the youngster or the first timer is able to see, oh, wow, I can have a life in this, and there's competitive side to it, and we can keep growing this thing that we all love so much.
Yeah, I love that. What a great way to end the show. I can't top that.
Yeah, man. Let's go. And thank you, Dan. I appreciate you, brother.
Yeah, for sure. It's been a pleasure. Like I said, it was a dream of mine to somewhere be in the podcast realm with you. I just never thought I'd be on this side of it, which is kind of a cool full circle.
Well, next up is Dan Shelley on PTG, and then I'm going to be asking the questions.
Oh man, now I'm nervous. Awesome. Well, everyone tuning in, on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, everywhere. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Shellda Podcast, and we'll catch you next time. See you.
Thank you. Peace.